Hello and welcome to Behind Radio, where you get to meet incredible personalities with various radio success stories, from being on air to production and management, the hosts, producers, content creators, and more. Here's your host, Fisayo.
Place. I also worked with partially with NTA then, because I was working on corpus program then at NTA. So then I had the experience of working there. I came back to Kwara State after my NYSC in 2010, and then I worked with Radio Kwara a bit till 2011 when I joined the University of Ilorin radio station. That time the radio station was new, or it was just being launched to the world, to the bigger world. So I joined with Ilorin then. So all the while I've been into it, and in 2013 I crossed to academics. But the interesting thing is that while teaching, I still work with radio. I still do radio programs, and the experience has been very interesting. It's been fascinating. So that's the little about my journey.
Wow. I see that all your life you've either been in the radio or the TV.
Yes, yes, yes.
So, what would you rather want to be aside from being a media person?
Nothing, really, nothing. It's either media or media, and that's why I find it's interesting in being in the class and being on radio or on television. Just like you said, I'm not just on radio and television. I'm a media personality generally, because I MC events. I produce programs independently for people, especially for documentary programs. I do other things that have to do with the media, and interestingly, I train as well.
Okay.
Because I don't just do media. I also train people who are younger than I am, even with the little experience I have. I also try to train the younger ones, especially as well, to become good broadcasters, to become disciplined broadcasters.
Okay.
Because I was trained by people who are very disciplined. Everything you say, everything you do, every act you take on radio and television, those people who trained me told me it matters a lot, because my listener or my viewer is very, very important, and I'm an image of whichever media organization I represent.
Wow. Thank you. I know that it's actually fascinating when it comes to media. You know, you experience so many things. You get exposed to different things. How has it been? Where are you
Yes.
trying? I know that there has been challenges on your way. Were you able to overcome those challenges just because you had an experience, your background experience, or it was just, let's say, because you were strong or you were destined, like you said from the beginning?
My challenges in the funny thing is that my challenges started at the verge of coming into media. At a point in time, I was opportune to tell the story publicly. When I wanted to start radio at first, I was first of all a studio manager.
Okay.
For those who started radio or who are older in radio, because the studio manager part has started to fade out, sort of, with the contemporary broadcasting studio that we have now. When I started, it was strictly the era of there's a studio control room and there's a continuity area.
Okay.
So there's always usually a studio manager, someone who operates the equipment for you as a presenter or an announcer then, which we had. So I started as a studio manager, and I wanted to move on to become a presenter, just like just like many people would wish. And I remember then that the person in charge, the head of presentation then, didn't want, I don't know whether she didn't want me or whatever, but because of the pattern in which my destiny has been made to flow, it didn't work out at first when I was asked to audition. The person didn't recommend me, but because God had wanted me to do this, I found other people who came around me who told me I could do it. There are lots of back end to my story because at a point when I was in the studio manager when I was a studio manager, I wanted to do I presented a program proposal to a conference committee, and it was at the conference that they told me that, wow, instead of presenting a program, start reading news, start doing radio proper instead of just becoming a freelance radio broadcaster.
Okay.
So I did the audition. Other people came around me, told me, encouraged me. I remember there was a particular man, I mean Danzaki, that's his name then. The audition I was going to do, that I was also going to record at first once. He recorded me several times just because he wanted me to get it right
Oh,
at that stage.
wow.
So I really had other people as well who stood by me and who wanted me to do it. So, but it's been really challenging because the first impression that the head of programs then had was that I couldn't do it.
Hmm.
So I wasn't recommended.
Wow.
So it really worked against me. And then, but then since it was supposed to be, then it is.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, it was supposed to be. Well,
Yeah.
if you had an opportunity to choose something, to choose one thing that you are not doing now, what would that be?
In radio broadcasting, it's still, I'll choose to do sports.
Okay.
Um, I do everything on radio, but I don't do sport programs.
Okay.
And just like I used to tell people, do what you can do and don't do what you can't. Don't dabble at all into what you can't do so that people would not know your weakness.
Mm.
Based on the fact that I'm not so interested in sports, I don't do sport programs. So people think I know everything about radio, and I do everything about radio.
Mm.
I do talk shows. I do love programs at night. I do politics. I do health. While I was in Radio Choir, I have done finance programs before. I've done programs virtually in almost all areas or all angles in radio, but I have never done sports. So
Okay.
if I would choose in radio, maybe I'll choose to do sports really, because I find it sometimes quite interesting, especially when the analysis is going on. And one thing is that sport is key and is major in broadcasting generally, because that's why you find out that many radio or television stations allot uh, time to sport almost every day, even on Sundays.
Okay. All right. Okay. I want you to do something very it's gonna be look weird, but I just want you to do it for someone who is actually listening to us today. I want you to actually perform like you are in the radio and you are talking to your hello, welcome. Okay, today's show is blah 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 blah. Get into the mood.
Okay. I don't know which
Choose
of
any
my
of your
programs I
programs.
should mimic, or which my old programs I should mimic. I used to have a program that is called Love Zone.
Okay.
Really, the Love Zone. It was really about helping to unite old lovers. Everything about love, actually. So maybe I should actually act on that.
Okay.
It's a late night program actually, so my voice usually will change as well because it has to be a melodious voice at that point, sometimes like that because it's night.
All right.
All right, welcome to the Love Zone. It's your darling station, and I'd like to say thank you. This is where we talk everything that has to do with love. We bring new lovers together and we unite old lovers as well. So, welcome to the program. As we start on the show, this is our first musical break, and this is Endless Love. This is actually very important in our love life. Our love should be endless. I'll be back after this.
Wow. I was actually carried away. I was just listening. I wanted the show to continue. Okay, thank you for
Thank
that.
you.
Thank you so much for that. So,
My
what
pleasure.
would be your advice for people who are just starting out to be a media person, media person who is actually choosing a career in the media? What will be your advice to them?
My advice would be what I usually tell my students when I'm in class, and it's that the first thing to become a successful personality, if you're doing radio and television, to be disciplined. Discipline is the watchword. If you're disciplined, you would have a script before you go on air. If you're disciplined, you would know that at every second there is someone listening or watching you. So you must be at your best. If you're disciplined, you know that you have to rehearse your news before you go on. If you're disciplined, you know that you must do everything that is before you go on air. So first thing is that you should be disciplined. The second thing is that never be an island of yourself. In broadcasting generally, one of the cliches is that you should know something about everything, and in mass communication generally. So you should learn to read, you should learn to listen to other people, and you should listen more to your competitors than you listen more to people who are maybe you are better than. Listen more to people who you feel, man, this guy is a real competitor. He's really good at what he's doing as well. So you listen critically and you know how to improve on yourself. One thing I usually also tell people is that listen to everybody, because at a point in time now, there is nothing new again. The only thing that is new in the market or in the broadcast industry is your ability to listen to or to notice everything other people do and do something that they don't do. So those are certain things that we should put in consideration. Generally, I found out that the broadcast that we have today and that we encourage or that we preach the younger ones to do now, it's kind of a broadcast that they just do anything. They do anything on air. When I started at first, you can never go on air without a script, whether a full script or a mini script. Today, you just hear someone talking, and many people derive joy in talking extemporaneously. Yes, you should ad lib. That's the versatility in broadcasting. Your ad libbing, your ability to ad lib very well. But you should have a script that would guide you, guide your producer, guide your studio manager, guide your director and other people. So, and all these things are part of discipline. So one thing we should continue to preach is discipline, which I would always also encourage people to do in the industry.
That's key. Being disciplined. That's key. I like that. I hope someone is hearing that today. Be disciplined when you're about to start a media career. I think it will help us go a long way as we help other people to be who they want to be when it comes to being a media personality. Thank you so much for that. Where we are going, we are almost rounding up the the interview. But I would like to ask a question. So today, Gaffer, if peradventure you don't have to be a broadcaster again or a lecturer, or you don't even have to go near media as a whole again, what will you be doing?
I've always thought about that, and trust me, I have never found an answer to it. Really, I'm a kind of person that I believe in destiny strongly. When I was in junior secondary school, going to SS1, that was the time we were supposed to decide whether we were supposed to be science or commercial or arts. Circumstances brought me to where I am, because initially I wanted to be a doctor, just like everybody wanted to be a doctor. But later on, when I was about to get into the university, my other option was economics, to be an economist. So I really don't know. Really, trust me, I have never figured it out what other thing I would be doing if I don't do broadcasting.
I think you should think about that. Maybe after this show, I think you should think about that.
Because the point is that I don't see myself doing anything else. If I'm not doing broadcasting,
You're not
the
doing
other
broadcast.
alternative is to teach broadcasting,
Okay.
which I do. So if I'm not practicing, then I teach.
Okay. I would take that. I would take that slightly, but I think you should just think about it later. If I am not doing media, if I am not doing broadcasting, what will I be doing? Okay, so Gefa, what's the
I'll be
craziest
teaching.
thing? What's the craziest thing you have done behind radio?
What's what?
What's the craziest thing you've done behind radio?
Craziest thing I've done behind radio. Uh, okay, I don't know, but sometimes at the earliest start, or at the earliest part of my career, I think I have worn a boxers and a t-shirt and a slippers to the radio studio before. That's the good thing about radio. Yes. And then also at night, when I used to run night shift, a lot of times, many times when I'm on night shift, I'll just be on my singlet and my boxers with nothing else, because at most times I'll be the only one in the studio and I'll just talk. And you just need to hear my voice. That's all you need.
Oh, imagine. Oh, that's pretty interesting. So, how does it feel being
Yeah.
interviewed by someone else, knowing that you have always been the anchor on the radio show?
Yes. I think it's interesting, just like I said at the beginning, um, especially when I interview people about politics or about state of affairs. I'm usually a totally different person, because I like to be at the critical end when I'm interviewing about politics or about the state of affairs. It's also a different ball game when I'm interviewing about health. It's a different ball game when you're interviewing about general issues or general things. So it's interesting. I find it, instead of placing someone on the hot seat now, I think I'm the one on the hot seat now.
Well, it's not really
So,
hot.
but the seat is actually quite interesting.
Oh, thank you so much. So, tell me, what would be your word of advice? Just one last word for people out there who are listening to you.
Okay. Many people who want to go into broadcasting because they feel, because of the fame, because of the money. If you want fame, if you want money, you can get it in a dignifying way, actually, in broadcasting, because it depends on the ways you want to get it. But I'd advise that you can get the two, but the most difficult thing in broadcasting is how to manage your fame, because it's difficult to be famous, it's difficult to be a public figure and be honest and be submissive. It's also very difficult to manage fame and and ability to interact with people, because a lot of people would know you, but you won't know many people. So you need to smile at everybody that says hi to you, even if you're in a sad mood. You need to be jovial with people. Because if you reject someone and you're a media personality, it would tell on them, because they might at that point begin to dislike you. Once they dislike you physically, they dislike your program on radio or television, and then there's a ripple effect, because it will affect their family or those who are directly associated with them. So be humble, stay focused, and be disciplined. Very important.
Wow, thank you so much for that. So, if we need to contact you,
And I think you should be truthful as well, because with the little experience I've had, sorry to interrupt. I said I think it's also very important to be truthful.
okay,
A lot of broadcasters or young broadcasters sometimes, are not everyone, definitely. Some people are not truthful, and then some people also as part of not being truthful, they don't live the true life that they should live. So it affects them in several ways or in certain ways.
All right. Thank you so much for that. So, Gaffer, if we will need to contact you at any point in time, or anyone listening to us who want to get more information about you, how would they contact you?
Okay, my radio name is CoolGaffi. And it's funny how I got the name CoolGaffi actually. Briefly, while I finished my service, I wanted to join Cool FM.
Okay.
One of my neighbors then helped me through. I auditioned. I thought I got the job actually because all the people in the studio at that time were so amazed. Like, have you been doing this before? But unfortunately, I didn't get the job. So that was actually when I started listening so well to Cool FM. My initial stage name before radio name was Gaffy, so I added the cool to it, so it became CoolGaffi. So on all my handles, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, every other handle I have, it's CoolGaffi. It's CoolGaffi. So those are the contacts, and my email is olawale7 7 in figure.
All right. So
at yahoo.com.
Thank you so much. So you've heard a lot from Gaffar, and he has taught us some things today. I must say I actually enjoyed the show with you, and I had a take home today. Be diligent, be disciplined, and be truthful. Wherever you find yourself, wherever position you find yourself, be disciplined, be truthful, and be diligent. Thank you so much for joining us today on the show. We really appreciate you, Gaffar. Thank you. So we've come to the end Thank you so much. So we've come to the end of Behind Radio today. From the studios of Audacity to Lead, Lagos, Nigeria, my name still remains Fisayo Dayo-Samuel. See you next time. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Behind Radio. We hope you enjoyed the show. For inquiries and comments, send an email to behindradiopodcast@gmail.com. Visit behindradio.com to listen to more episodes.